Welcome back to another day of living in the new house, or living outside the new house because she's kicked me out. Not quite. The sun is out. It is actually quite a nice day. And we want to be getting on with our vegetable plot. So Elizabeth's been out here. She's sifted a bit more of the gravel, but we're realising that getting through all of that is just going to take way too long at the moment. We haven't got time to be faffing around with it in the interest of trying to get the beds in place. So, with the benefit of a tarpaulin from my grandparents, we are now at the stage where I've dropped that from there, and we're just going to get all of the stuff we need to sift through off there into a pile. We can sift through it all later and get this ground flattened and levelled, ready for said sleepers that are in the mess over there to get chopped off and ready to go in. Now, I need to get some screws that are long enough to go through those, and I'm hoping my circular saw is actually big enough to chop through those at some point. So yeah, we've got a bit of shopping to do before we can fully get those in, but the weekend's looking good, so I'm hoping to try and at least get them in, not filled, but at least down on a level ground over the course of the weekend. Now, reading online, putting sleepers like that straight on the ground, obviously you don't want the wood to rot, so what they recommend is actually putting a layer of gravel underneath them. Now, I was potentially hoping we could save the smaller gravel outside of that, but I think that's just going to end up too much of a faff for the cost it is, so we may end up buying a couple of bags of gravel just to lay underneath them and make sure it's got good drainage. But anyway, I'm going to break the shovel out while we've still got some sunlight and get this flattened down as best I can, and let's see how far we can get in about just over an hour or so before the sunset. So hi ho, it's off to work we go. Well, it's now dark, and my phone may have died partway through that time lapse, so we have now a massive pile of dirt to the point that it only just fits on the tarpaulin, but we have cleared up most of the slate and gravel now. There's a few odd bits here and there that are left in the soil, but it's not too bad. So hopefully when we get some sunlight over the weekend, we'll come through and flatten all this down then, and then we're at the stage where we can start getting the sleepers down. But if you can't hear, I don't know if you can hear that, I'll pause talking for a second so you can hear the birds. Yeah, I'm hoping you can hear that. They've been in the garden chewing up all the worms and everything. I've also been told by Elizabeth that I need to show you that she's chopped down this bush as well. She didn't like it, so it's gone. It's now in the bin, ready to go out with the green bin. So we'll work out what we're doing with this space a little bit later. But mammoth effort. And then we're just going to have to deal with having this big pile of mud in the garden, mud and slate and everything else, and gradually sift our way through it over the course of the next few weeks. But at least we're making solid progress on this area now, ready for le vegetables.
All the more urgency for the veggie plot because we have onion seedlings. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3. They must have a home. We must finish the veg plot.
Bit of an off-camera update. I may have got on with some sanding and prep work in here when my phone was on charge. So I've actually been through now and I've hand sanded all the fillering we did on those walls the other day just to get them down. I also did some fillering on these walls and then have sanded all these back as well. Now I have made an executive decision, and that decision is that best case scenario, this plaster dries within 3 days. Worst case scenario, it's supposed to be 4 weeks. We're now at about the 2-week mark. It looks pretty dry, it looks pretty dusty, so I'm going to take the risk and commit painting it so we can get into this room. So that's why I've been doing a lot of the prep work inside of here. I've just mixed up a bucket of hot water, just real quick, of warm water, and I'm just going to go down now and de-dust these walls I've sanded and run a damp cloth over the bits where I've got filler on just to de-dust them. And then we'll probably see what time we're at, but I'm tempted to then at least try and get the base layer of the paint on these so that every single wall inside of here has paint on it. We won't be able to do finish coat painting because I think I'm just going to run out of time tonight, but at least then when we come back at it tomorrow, hopefully, we can then literally just finish coat the paint, well, the whole room. And when I say finish coat, I mean paint it all to white for the time being until we obviously select the colour and do what we're going to do with it over that time. So we're going to hop back into time lapse load now my phone is charged and get on with wiping these walls down. would have liked to have got on and got the mist coat on this wall, but as you can see where I've wiped it down, the moisture is still on the wall. So we're not ready to paint just yet, and it's nearly 11 o'clock, so it'll probably be 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I've actually got the mist coat on. So yeah, I think that is a good excuse to park it there for today. I'm going to go hop in the bath and get all this dust out my hair. We're heading out tomorrow to have brunch with the boy Jack and go catch up with the parents. May head over to IKEA as well. So you may get an early vlog introduction in IKEA potentially, depending on what we're looking at buying. And then, yeah, plan of action then. Get back here, maybe have a go at chopping those sleepers in half, option number 1, or painting this room, option number 2. We'll see what time it is, we'll see what the weather is, but one of those 2 jobs is what we'll be getting on with. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, happy hunting, and we'll catch you all in tomorrow's vlog.